Sometimes in this league, the most impactful transactions aren't the ones you make today. They're the ones you made years ago, coming back to haunt you or reward you in ways nobody saw coming. Hey, Lions Nation. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your home for breaking news, insider analysis, and every update on our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm here to bring you something that's been brewing beneath the surface, something that connects our past, present, and potentially our future in a way that might just blow your mind. Stick with me through this entire breakdown because by the time we reach the end, you're going to understand why conversations happening right now in Detroit could lead to one of the most emotionally charged moves in franchise history. This isn't about draft. This isn't about some random free agents. This is about legacy, redemption, and completing a circle that started almost 5 years ago. Before I dive into the let me set the stage properly, because understanding where we've been is crucial to appreciating where we might be headed. January 30th, 2021, a date forever etched in Lions history. That was the day we traded away our franchise quarterback, sending him to Los Angeles in exchange for Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks, and a third-rounder. At the time, it felt like the end of an era, like we were tearing down everything to start fresh. The quarterback we sent away had given us 12 seasons, thrown for over 45,000 yards in Honolulu blue, and represented the face of this franchise through some incredibly difficult years. Letting him go was painful but necessary, so we thought at the time. But here's where it gets fascinating, and this is something I need you to really understand because it's foundation everything I'm about to tell you. That trade didn't just bring us Jared Goff and some draft picks. It became the foundation of everything we've built since. Brad Holmes took those assets and worked absolute magic with them. The 2 first-rounders from the Rams became ammunition for more trade, moving up and down the board to select exactly the players we needed. We got Jameson Williams at 12 overall in 2022 after packaging that 32nd pick to Minnesota. That same deal brought us the 46th pick, which became Josh Paschal. The Rams' 2023 first-rounder, 6th overall, got flipped to Arizona along with a third, netting us picks 12, 34, and 168. Pick 12 became Jahmyr Gibbs, who's currently tied with Barry Sanders for most touchdowns before turning 24. Pick 34 became Sam Laporta, who set rookie tight end records. Even that original third-rounder in 2021 became Ifeatu Melifonwu, who contributed before moving to Miami. Every single piece of our current roster structure traces back to one transaction. Williams is locked up on an $83 million extension. Gibbs is averaging 134.7 total yards per game this season with 16 touchdowns. Laporta revolutionized our tight end position before his recent injury, and Goff himself has been absolutely phenomenal, throwing for at least 29 touchdowns in each of the last 3 seasons and finishing 5th in MVP voting last. That trade built this team. There's no exaggeration in saying that. So why am I walking you through all of this history? Because understanding the magnitude of what that original move created makes what I'm about to discuss even more significant. We're currently sitting at 11-4, leading the NFC North, looking like legitimate Super Bowl contenders for the first time in decades. Our offense is explosive. Our defense has found its identity, and the culture Dan Campbell has built is undeniable. But every championship team needs that veteran presence, that player who's been there before, who understands the pressure of playoff football and knows what it takes to win at this level. This is where the conversation gets really interesting. The quarterback we sent to Los Angeles in that 2021 trade is now 38 years old, playing for a Rams team that's struggling to maintain relevance in a brutal NFC West. His contract situation is complex. The Rams are facing salary cap challenges, and there's legitimate discussion about whether Los Angeles believes he's their long-term answer or if they need to get younger at the position. Meanwhile, back in Detroit, we have Jared Goff playing at an elite level, absolutely thriving in Ben Johnson's offense and showing no signs of slowing down. So you might be wondering, why would we even consider bringing back the quarterback traded away? Here's the strategic thinking, and this is where Brad Holmes' brilliant roster construction creates possibility that didn't exist. We don't need a starting quarterback. Goff position locked down and deserves every bit of security he had. But what we don't have is a veteran backup who could step in during the playoff happen. Someone who knows, understands Lions football, and has the arm talent to manage games highest level. Think about the playoff implications here. Seen teams lose the champion because their backup quarterback couldn't handle the moment. Remember the 49ers losing their third-string rookie in the NFC Championship? These situations happen, and having insurance isn't just smart, essential. Now imagine having a backup quarterback who spent 12 years in this system, who knows Ford Field like the back of his hand, who has the respect of this fan base even after leaving, and who might welcome the chance to finish his career where it started. Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit wouldn't be about replacing Goff. It would be about adding a Hall of Fame caliber insurance policy while giving one of the greatest players in franchise history the opportunity to compete for a title with the team that drafted him first overall back in 2009. The financial aspect actually makes more sense than you'd think. Stafford's current deal with the Rams includes significant dead cap implications if they move him, but the actual acquisition cost for Detroit could be surprisingly manageable. We're talking about potentially a late-round pick, maybe a conditional selection based on playing time, and a restructured contract that fits within our cap structure. The Rams might actually prefer to move his salary off their books while getting something in return rather than cutting him outright. For Stafford, this represents something incredibly rare in professional sports, the chance to come home. He's won a Super Bowl with the Rams, cemented his legacy as an elite quarterback, and now he's facing the twilight of his career. Does he want to finish a backup Los Angeles rebuilding team? Or does he want to return to Detroit, where he could contribute to a championship run and retire as a Lion? That emotional component can't be underestimated. From a locker room perspective, this move would be overwhelmingly positive. The current Lions players weren't here during Stafford's tenure, so there's no awkward dynamic about him coming back. Goff has repeatedly praised Stafford publicly, calling him one of the best to ever play the position. There's mutual respect there, and having two quarterbacks of that caliber in the same room would only elevate the entire offense. The younger players would benefit from Stafford's experience, and in practice, our defense would face two different elite quarterbacks, preparing them for whatever they'll see in the playoff. Dan Campbell's reaction to this possibility would likely be enthusiastic. He's all about culture, toughness, and bringing in players who understand what it means to wear Honolulu blue. Stafford embodies all of that, and having him mentor Hendon Hooker while providing legitimate playoff insurance would align perfectly with Campbell's vision. The chess piece here is recognizing that championship windows are narrow. We're in ours right now this year, and the next couple of seasons represent our best chance to bring a Lombardi trophy to Detroit. Every decision should be evaluated through that lens, and adding a future Hall of Fame quarterback or backup, especially one with deep to the organization, is the kind of move that separates pretender from champion. Think about how this story resonates national. Quarterback Detroit away, start to rebuild, return, finish it with a champion. That's Hollywood-level storytelling, and it would dominate every sports conversation for weeks. More importantly, it would show every free agent and draft prospect that Detroit is serious about winning, that we'll make unconventional moves to maximize our championship odds. So here's my analysis of this potential move. If the opportunity exists to bring Matthew Stafford back to Detroit in a backup that doesn't compromise our financial flexibility or draft capital, Brad Holmes should absolutely explore it. This isn't about nostalgia bonus. This is about championship preparation, about having the best possible insurance policy, and about adding a winner to a locker room that's hungry for its first title. The fact that it would also give Stafford a chance to retire as a Lion after everything he gave this franchise makes it even more compelling. Now I need to hear from you, Lions faithful. How would you feel about Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit as Jared Goff's backup? Do you think his presence would help us in a championship run, or would it create unnecessary distraction? Would you want to see number 9 in Honolulu blue one more time, this time competing for a title? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is exactly the kind of move that divides opinion, and I genuinely want to know where Lions stand. If you want to see every develop regarding potential move and all other Lions news pushed, make sure your fan report. I'll be monitoring, bringing you up the moment. Share this video with every Lions fan, because this conversation needs to happen across our entire community. Let's keep building towards something special together. One Pride, and I'll see you in the next one.